Shalom, this is Yehudit Goldfarb from Tzfat. I'm going to start a new series. I'm calling the 32 Paths of Healing. I'm going to do the Aleph Bet as we count the different days of Kislev. Today's Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So it's an Aleph for the first day of Rosh Chodesh, but it's an Aleph because we're still also in the season, in the fall season. And it's an Aleph in terms of the count. And so I'm going to count the 22 main letters and give some variations as I go through them. The Otiyot Hayyot, the first 22 days of Kislev, and then I'm going to start with the Ten Sefirot, which takes us into Hanukkah, and I'm going to do Keter and Chokmah, and then Hanukkah starts. We're going to start from Hesed going down to Malchut. And for Zot Hanukkah, we're going to go back to Bina. And we're also going to be starting a new series then, which takes us into the new year. So, new secular year, but takes us into the whole counting through to Tu B'Shvat and Purim. We have a leap year, so we have an extra long period there before Purim and Pesach. And we started this whole counting on the second day of Pesach. So we're going to do the full year. I'd like to share with you the full year. So, but for this one, I'm going to go through the Hebrew letters. We're starting with Alef. And as you can see from this distance, so in Alef, I'll show you this way first. I'm going to take a step, but we're going to go to the left now as I'm teaching this. You step to the side with your foot slightly pointed out. As you go to that side, you create a diagonal between the tip of your finger to your heel. And the back hand is hanging from a string, and you let your head go under your forward hand. Your weight slightly onto the left foot. When you come back, the hands cross. Right hand outside. When I do a continuation, I turn this foot forward and turn the other foot out, and then I go to the other side. And I do continuous movements back and forth. So it's back and forth for Aleph. Number one. Okay, so what I want to do as a pattern, as a practice for the Aleph, is I'm going to do Aleph going down the Sefirot chart. If I were thinking of the chart in my head or my body, I'm going to start with combining Aleph and the sound of Keter, the crown, and then the sound for, which is the Kamatz, and then the sound for Chokmah, right brain, and Bina, left brain, which will be the Patach and the Sareh. So it's another and an A. And then with the right arm, left arm equivalency for Hesed and Gevurah, which would be an a Sagol for Hesed and a Shvana for Gevurah, And then the Holam. I'm not going to actually do the vowels shapes. I'm going to sound them. The Holam will be the O, and then the right and left leg, Netzach and Hod, will be E and U for the Harik and the Kibbutz, and then the Sharuch for Yesod, and waiting for the breath for Malchut. That's going down the Tree of Life. Going down the ladder from the infinite to the finite. Then I'm going to do the soundings all the way up to Keter again as I repeat the Alephs each time. So we go back up, which is the spiritual path. So let's start with an Aleph. I'm going to start it to the right. I'm not used to doing it to no. I'm going to start it to the left. It's going to be a little bit of switch for you, because when I start to the right with Ketcher, which is the center column, then left is on the left side, which is Hakma, which is should be. And I'll repeat. The next middle one is Tiferet, which is in the middle normally. Going down, it's going to be on the right, and then I'll do a second right to keep it a Netzach. And going up, it'll be on the left, and I'll keep it on the left. You'll see what I mean when I do it. So let's start to the left this time. So it'll be an ah sound. Ah. Alef doesn't have any sound of its own. Then another ah for Kamatz, for the Hakma. Ah. For the Patach. For Bina, it's a Sere. A. For Hesed, it's the Segol. For Gabora, it's the Shvana. For Hakma, for Tiferet, it's the Cholam. Oh. And I'm going to do it again to the right side. For Netzach, E. Erik. And the Kibbutz for Hod. Ooh. And Yesod. Sharuk. Ooh. And then I'm going to have both feet forward, keeping them apart at this point, just letting myself be breathed for Malkut. 3 times. One on the way down, one pause, and one at the bottom of going back up. Yesod, which is ooh. Hod. Ooh. Netzach. E. Staying on the same side. No, I'm going to go over to the left. I'm sorry. O for Tiferet. And then staying on the same side for Gevurah. Hesed. Bina. Hakma. Ketcher. Back to center. And then I'm going to bring my feet to close and let myself be breathed as I let the energy pass through. So this is Rosh Chodesh Kislev. And I'd like to show you how, I did a little bit of this before, how each day actually has its letters attached to it. It has an Alef because the season is the fall. It has a Samech because the letter or the months of Kislev is a Samech. So before we get to Samech in the normal order, I'm going to show you a Samech. This and like this. It's another rocking one. We'll spend more time with it when we get to the Samech. This is basically Samech for Kislev. And the day of the week happens to be the 3rd day of the week, which is normal. Tiferet, which is the letter Dalet, the 3rd double letter. And so the 3rd letter we would use for today would be Dalet, and I'm going to use the swing Dalet. which is from the level of Asiya. And then the last letter I'd be using for the combination that I do is which letter day of the month it is. It's an Alef, so I'd be doing another Alef. Now I'm going to do this, go back and do this as a sequence of just the 4 letters for today, which would be an Alef for the season, a Samech for the month, a Dalet for the day of the week, and an Alef for the day of the month. We'll do it twice. Alef and close. Samech and close. Dalet and Alef. And again, if I were to start on the right, I'm alternating sides where I start from. Alef, Samech, Dalet, and let myself be breathed. And I pray for a deep healing in all the aspects of oneness. Oneness within ourselves, the Alef, the sense of being able to govern ourselves, oneness in terms of HaShem, recognizing HaShem's really in charge, oneness of the people, Am Israel, a unity, and a real pray for a healing kind of unity in our own uniqueness at the same time as we have unity and oneness. Many blessings to you for Rosh Chodesh Kislev.